Previously on Ballz.
Rob Koenig is back in South Africa. And what?
I'm laughing at that picture.
Yeah, I want to check this out. I haven't seen it yet.
Rob speaking.
Hey, Rob, how's it going? It's Darren.
How are you, Darren?
I'm all right, and you, boss?
I was staying out of trouble, thanks, China.
That's good. Welcome home.
No, it's great to be back here. I tell you what, there is no place like it.
Yeah, after travelling all over the world. We'll get to that in a moment. Watch.
Robbie, can I just tell you something? I've just had a chat to Kevin Curran, and he's right where you are, but not with you.
Oh, really?
Did you know that?
Yeah.
I didn't. I spoke to Casey last week,
Yeah.
but I didn't realize he was up in this neck of the woods.
Right next to
Isn't he still involved with the champagne?
I am, yeah. He's not involved anymore. I think he cashed out a while ago, yeah.
Okay. So, but he's at champagne
Yes.
now. Is it? Well, he's also having a bit of a break. All right. Yeah, just tell us, which countries, how many countries this year did you visit while you're travelling around the tennis circus?
Yeah, I'm wanting to say maybe 10, 15 at least.
Wow. What a
obviously, we visit the States a fair bit throughout our travels. I'm there for a couple of big tournaments, 4 or 5 big tournaments throughout the year. But it takes us pretty much all around the globe, from Asia to you name it, all over Europe. The one country we don't get to go to, one continent, is South America. Mm. But I'm actually looking forward to that future, because it looks like down the road the World Tour finals that are currently in London are going to move to Rio for a couple of years. But of course,
Nice.
we're still going to be there for another 4 years. So maybe then I'll be heading a little bit south.
Why does it not go via South America with, as a matter of interest? Don't they have any big ATP events there? Or
They have a couple of ATP events there, but they're not the big ones, Darren. You've got a couple down in Costa de Sauipe. Brazil's got one in Buenos Aires. But there's a lot of money being put into tennis there over the last couple of years. And I think, given how strong the economy is down there and how much money there is to spend, I think we're going to have more bigger events down there. I don't know if you guys know, but Federer has just done a series of exhibitions down there. He's done 6 of them, apparently getting paid $2 million a night. That's US dollars.
Whoa.
To do those exos down there. So you can see how much money there is to burn. But I've got even a better story for you as well. One of the guys who was hosting one of the exhibitions down there, a good friend of his, obviously was a wealthy businessman, said, listen, I want to pay $100,000 to have breakfast with Federer. And he says, okay, he'll pass on the request to his agent. So Tony goes to Roger and he says, this guy wants to have breakfast for you, $100,000. You can use the money for any charity or whatever you want. And Roger says, no, sorry, I don't do breakfast, but I will play tennis with him for an hour.
Oh, wow. For that amount.
But it's going to cost him $500,000.
Wow.
Okay.
And the guy came back and said, no problem, I'll do it.
There we go. That's awesome. Eh?
So that gives you an idea of what's going on down there.
Tennis for an hour, that's at least about, 12 sets?
Exactly.
Yeah, I can say he played 4 matches, or actually, could you say he can play like 6 matches against Roger Federer in that hour? Not too many people can say
exactly.
that. Awesome, that's a nice story. All right, just before we get a kind of wrap-up of the year from you, it's been awesome chatting to you during the course of the year and tracking your travels and getting your insights on tennis. On our website as well, we got this little video clip, and now people are climbing on the racist bandwagon and saying Caroline Wozniacki is a racist. Her imitation of Serena Williams. Was this an exhibition match or something, or was it actually a serious game?
No, exhibition.
Okay.
So, it's such rubbish when people go on about stuff like this. People who carry on and make these kind of comments are just literally, have they got nothing better to do with their time? That's what I think of when I see stuff like that. Caroline is one of the most well-liked players amongst her peers, and that's the reason why she can go out and have a joke at Serena's expense, or some of the other girls' expense. She's often given Azarenka a hard time as well. So, people just don't understand the dynamic. It's just ignorance when people make comments like that.
Sorry, can I just pause this for a second? Who's the belter she's playing against?
Sharapova.
Doesn't look like her. Okay. All right, we're just looking at the video clip now. See, Roger was there as well. He was having a good laugh at everything.
Yeah.
All right. So just a little moment here, just to have a look at Sharapova. Lovely.
It's all gone very quiet.
And then she starts, and then people got offended as well because she started grunting like Serena Williams.
Oh.
That's ridiculous.
Well, she could have been grunting like Sharapova. You don't know that. Sharapova is also pretty loud.
Deep low grunts.
At the
Okay.
ring.
That's
The
right. There
bra
we
she
go.
took off there.
Johnny, stop it. All right, so that's that story. So now, as far as the year goes, this, first of all, we had a chat to Kevin Anderson, I think just after the last time we spoke to you. He seemed pretty chuffed with his year, and he's looking forward to sort of getting off this platform and launching an assault possibly on the top 10 next year. How do you see his year looking at next year?
Well, he finished strongly.
Yeah.
He played really well indoors. He beat some good players, went close with Thomas Burdick. He should have beaten him towards the tail end of the year. So, the belief is there. And that's the biggest thing on sport, Darren. If you've got the belief that you can mix it with the big boys, that's 80% of the battle. Kevin's got the strokes. But to be able to do it on a regular basis and entrench himself in the top 10 is not going to be easy. As far as the men's game is concerned now, certainly at the top of it, you can see that there's two distinct groups. You've got 1 to 4, and you've got 5 to 8. So to grab one of those other two spots, it's slim pickings, and you've got to come out firing early on in the season. If you can get a couple of big wins, put a lot of points up on the board, then you've got a good chance of things working out your way. That's what Tipsarevic was able to do early on this season, and he was able to qualify for the World Tour Finals as a result of starting out so well at the beginning of the year. It takes a lot of pressure off you, Darren.
Yeah. So obviously your 1 to 4 is Nadal, Federer, Djokovic, and Murray, right? And then there's the rest.
Yes, there is.
Okay.
And I think when you talk about that chasing pack and you're looking for guys to make inroads into the top 4, it's difficult to see. A guy like Thomas Burdick, it'll be interesting to see what the effect of winning the Davis Cup will do for him next year. Of course, remember back in, I think it was 2010 when Novak won the Davis Cup for Serbia. It had a tremendous effect on his career the following year, one of the greatest years we've ever seen in tennis. And of course, it's continued through 2012. And it'll be interesting to see if winning the Davis Cup provides a similar sort of springboard for Thomas. But still, those guys have struggled to make any inroads. Songa's been a little disappointing this season for me. He's got a new coach, though, Nathan Hewitt's old coach, Gilmore Fleece's old coach, Roger Rashid. It'll be interesting to see if he has an effect. Del Potro is the one I think who can cause the top 4 problems, but he's just got to get it together mentally. Sometimes he's a little fragile between the ears. He's got all the strokes. He's shown us historically that he can win big tournaments and beat the very best, but he's got to do it consistently.
Just on the subject of Djokovic, maybe I might have Rob with this one. He's a bit of a different guy in other areas. Did you know what he's just bought?
No.
Novak Djokovic has just bought the world's supply of donkey milk.
Are you kidding me?
Yes, I'm telling you, it was on CNN this morning, early hours.
What an
I'm
ass.
waiting for the punchline.
No punchline. Johnny will throw a few puns out, but it's a dead serious story. He has just bought the world's supply of donkey milk.
Why?
Because apparently he runs a restaurant chain. He has a restaurant chain back in Serbia.
Yes, that's
And
correct.
apparently it's a highly sought after and very expensive, makes a very expensive kind of cheese. Like equivalent of feta, but it's crumbly. It's very crumbly and it's very sought after. So he's bought the world's supply. He has spent his millions. He's bought the world's supply of donkey milk for his restaurants in Serbia.
Okay.
Don't they eat donkeys as well in Serbia?
Hey, no, that's Kazakhstan.
Oh, great. Big mistake.
So there we go. A little bit of useless information. That was on CNN Sport this morning.
But it's interesting when you think about how strong his brand is in his country. It's ridiculous. You can buy everything with a Novak Djokovic face on it, from teaspoons to teacups to T-shirts, you name it. So the amount of revenue that he derives from doing stuff like that is off the charts. I think it's difficult for us guys in what we call Western countries to kind of, establish what it's like being back there. The guy's an absolute king back there.
Yeah. So your favorite moment of the year, Mr. Koenig, what was it in tennis?
I think the Australian Open final, for me, probably just pips Andy Murray winning the US Open. That would be 1 and 2. I think it has to be 1 and 2. The quality of those semis and the finals in Australia, they were off the charts good. The length of the matches, produce that kind of tennis for so long, and then to do it 48 hours after you had just beaten Murray. So for me, it has to be Novak, Australian Open. I don't know if you remember, Darren, but both guys, they could barely stand up.
I remember,
the trophy ceremony afterwards. I mean, that's how much they put into it. But then I was pretty pumped for Andy Murray on a personal level, watching him win his first US Open. I played against Andy when he was a 15-year-old, so for me, it's been interesting to watch his whole progression through the ranks to eventually getting over the finishing line and winning one of these majors. Because I tell you what, if he had lost it after being 2 sets to love up at that US Open final,
that was him done.
I think it could have been him done.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Well, listen, Rob, it's been lucky catching up with you during the year. Thank you very, very much for all your chats and chatting to us from various parts of the world.
It's always an honor. Thanks.
What is where are you going to be down there at Champagne for Christmas as well? Is this your holiday now for a while, or?
No, we'll just be here for a week, and then I start up on the 29th of December. The season kicks off already then.
Yeah.
We'll go to Qatar. Doha is the first event there. And then the following week, I'll fly down to Auckland, which is one of the warm-up events the week before the Australian Open.
Yeah.
So there's not too much respite.
Yeah. And look out, Qatar. They've got a superstar that's launching at that tournament next year, hey?
Where's in Qatar?
Yeah. Can't think of his name.
Check it out.
What's the name of that guitar player? Sorry.
Jimi Hendrix.
Sorry. That was the lamest pun ever of the whole year.
That was terrible.
Sorry, Rob. Sorry. What a horrible way to leave it today. Have a good Christmas, boss. All the best. Enjoy and travel safe, and we'll chat to you in the new year, okay?
It's great talking to the team. Thanks, John, and thanks.
Thank you so much, Robbie.
Cheers, bud. Bye-bye.
Cheers, Robbie.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Bye now.
This is Ballz Visual Radio. Darren, Simon, Kate, and John. Weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Central African Time. Balls.co.za